Fishers, we've got a report for you this week, but I'll tell you what, you're going to have to work hard to catch some fish in the local area. The river I just went down and had a look at a couple of minutes ago, and it's high and dirty. It is dropping a bit, and I don't think it'll be long before it clears. Give it about 4, 5, 6 days at the most, and it should be clear enough. Look, anybody fishing the river over the last week or two has been getting some really nice cod out of it, but Bundidgery Creek's been quite good. Been quite a bit of activity down through there. Old Man Creek will be worth the effort walking the bank, but don't expect big numbers of fish. Expect to put in a fair bit of time, a fair bit of work, but it's pleasant walking around flicking a few lures off the bank, or because it'll be reasonably easy to put a boat in if you can find a dry boat ramp, you'll be able to get your boat in and cover a bit of water. There should be good lobstering at the moment. There's quite a few lobbies around, and this dirty water and higher river gets them real active, so I think you'll find you'll get some good results there. Some of the better reports I'm getting, walking the bank of Blowering. Really happy with that at the moment. Casting off the bank for trout, I'd use like a peg rod tiger minnow or something of that nature. Tassies are okay, but I'd be more inclined to use a minnow bodied lure or a spoon. Tassies will sink too quick because they're only in reasonably shallow water. CD7, CD9 Rapala or a floating Rapala will do the job nicely. Doesn't seem to matter what colour, probably stick to your natural trout patterns, that sort of thing. That'll cover the options pretty well. So there's a little bit of activity up there. Fishing off the bank with bait seems to be pretty good. They're getting some really good cod up there at the moment. Most of the blokes who are catching the cod are late in the afternoon, right through the night, using big yabbies for bait, grubs for bait seem to be okay. But yeah, it's pretty cold up there, so be prepared to take a little bit of timber up and get a nice big fire going, that sort of thing. Don't forget all the trout streams are closed at the moment, so if you want to go and catch a trout, walk the bank of Blowering, you'll pick up some trout. Talbingo's worth the effort. Eucabean, Jindabyne and that are all starting to pick up a little bit. Fishing off the bank with bait isn't too bad up there. Scrub worms or power bait, definitely the way to go. A little bit of activity down the Dartmouth. We're getting a few trout out of there, but they still seem to be deep there, which is unusual for this time of year. Hume Weir, getting some reasonable reports from trout out of the Hume Weir. A lot of smallish fish, you know, up sort of 1.5 to 2 pound. Most of these fish are being caught on the troll, but don't forget you're going to have to work pretty hard down there too. No reports from a whaler of any consequence, so it's probably high and dirty, or I wouldn't say high, but it's probably dirty as well. Talking to Bondi down the south coast, he tells me that the yellowfin are turned up, plenty of albacore out there at the moment. The albies are around that 25 kilo mark. Yellowfin, they seem to be a few big ones getting caught around that 25, 30 kilo, but there's the odd one around the 90, 80 to 90 kilo, so there's odd big fin around. Some blokes are getting busted off, and they're thinking they're bluefin, but I reckon they might be big yellowfin too, and a lot of blokes down there have the same feeling on that. Beach fishing, it's going nuts. Anywhere up and down the east coast, usually around that Ulladulla, Narooma, Bermagui, down to Eden, plenty of salmon and tailor, and because the water temps are still warm, they're getting plenty of whiting as well. So things look pretty good down there. Estuaries are quietening down a bit. Walliga's fishing pretty well. Waggonga's pretty quiet. A few kings around the island, but they haven't worked pretty hard. Today the kingfishing's been a little bit quiet. Yesterday it wasn't too bad, so it's been patchy like that. So as you can see, there's a little bit of activity around us at the moment, but if you're going to fish around this area, you're going to have to do a little bit of work. But my first choice definitely is walking the bank of Blowering and picking up a few trout. This is the Compleat Anglers Fishing Report for this week. Catch you next week.